All right, awesome. We are live, and I am Teresa Lassiter with TAL Transformational Services, reminding you that your life can change in one moment. So take one moment and change your life. We are excited to be here with Miss Janelle on tonight, and she is with For the Love of the Children. Yes, counseling. And so I was so excited that we are connecting in 2024 to offer the parenting support groups at the Legacy of Hope Foundation, but through your organization. So tell us a little bit about yourself and then your organization.
Yes. So I have been actually a step parent for almost 11 years now, maybe 12 years. Like it's been a long time. Um, During our experience, it was, it wasn't always, great. Um, so there was a lot of there was a huge lack of resources for parents that were dealing with co-parenting situations, and not even step parents, just parents in general. And so when we were going through our situation, there was nobody to talk to. Um, there was no any type of help other than you need an attorney, and then they'll go and do attorney
Mm-hmm.
things.
Right.
Um, but when you're trying to get feedback from other parents, when you're trying to connect with other people and hear experiences, there wasn't anything like that. So one of the big reasons that I got involved in what I do is just because we needed someone to talk to, and there was nobody. And it got lonely
Mm-hmm.
for a while there. Um, I have 4 kids total. So, parenting in general, it was just even parenting support groups, there is nothing really around. So when you need help, when you're struggling, there's no one to talk to, and you just really need a support system. So I was really wanting to create that for the community. So a support system, people to talk to, people to bounce ideas off of.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Everything that, even if you need something and you're not really sure how to get it, we have resources for that. We have people that can help and talk you through it, or find the resources for you. Um, and it was really important to me to be able to bring that here, to be able to let people know you're not alone.
Mm-hmm.
We're all parents, and parents, co-parents, step parents, grandparents. We all struggle with the different aspects of life, and we want to do our best as parents. But if we don't have that support, we can't. And that's one of the big reasons why I decided to bring that to the community. And so far, it's been going great.
Yeah.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about you and your background and how long have you been actually doing this?
Yes, so I have been a child advocate and parent advocate for um, about 10 years now. And it has been a journey. I have heard some stories.
I'm sure.
Um, just hearing the stories and getting through that, it really made me push towards getting the education that I wanted to be able to, not only help myself and my family, but also help others. So I went to Old Dominion University for a double major in psychology and criminal justice, and then a minor in child's rights. And then I got a lot of certifications in child trauma, child abuse, healthy touch for children, and there's a couple of stewards for children. I got a lot of certifications in regards to child rights and families and social work. So education has been a big push for me to learn more about how to help,
Hmm.
and more about why we end up doing some of the things that we do, especially when we're stressed out.
Right.
So learning all of that has really helped, not me as a person and me as a parent, but also it really pushed me into beginning the business.
Mm.
So, before I wanted to be an attorney is the only thing I wanted to do. But I didn't want to make the parents fight all the time. It wasn't. something that I wanted to do.
Right.
And then, when you're an attorney, you're just looking at the legal side of it. You're not looking at the psychological side of it, the stress
Mm-hmm.
side of it. So we needed someone who was willing to be able to look at that side, who wasn't just, okay, all we can do here is fight.
Mm.
Um, and so it was a big goal of mine to stop the fighting. um, and that's when I started the business. I started it in 2021.
Okay.
um, and so now I've just been kind of doing it ever since, and making sure that I stay up to date in education. I'm a member of the Hampton Roads Parent Education Network, um, and the Hampton Roads Trauma Informed Community Network. So we have a lot of accessibility to resources, in for parents and children who are experiencing trauma, or just need a little bit more help with different experiences throughout life.
Exactly. And so, because normally when we, different people start different things, it's because it's something that we need ourselves. And so then we
Yes.
find that space and that place of compassion, because now you can do it from a perspective of what you needed at the time. And so now you're able now to offer parents that service. And so how important is it? Because I know that you've been doing this for a while, and of course you say you're a step parent, so you're actually benefiting from the things that you're learning, so you're applying it. How important is it for parents to actually join these support groups?
I think it depends on the parent.
Mm-hmm.
If you are resistant to the idea that you need support, it may not be beneficial. Um, but sometimes, it can be beneficial if you're resistant, just because you see a different perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in some cases, if you resist the idea of support, it kind of backfires, and you end up using the information in a negative way. But when you're ready to make that change, when you're ready and you're like, okay, well, what, I need to do better for my children. um, that's a good starting point to understand, or to begin to understand what you can do differently, and how you can benefit from doing those things differently. And also, in these situations, they're stressful,
Mm-hmm.
and then stress has such a big um, impact on our bodies and our mental wealth, um, and everything that has to do with our lives. Anger, emotions, it it drives us. So when we're so stressed, we get driven in the wrong direction. So this was a way to open up a area where you could not be so stressed. You could see a different perspective, and then see it in a different way, so that it's not bringing you down. It's actually, you're learning from it, and you can learn to benefit from it.
And it's interesting because, as you said, stress, because it has so many effects on our bodies. And anytime that we're stressed out, it has, emotionally, socially, financially, all of this stress that
Yes.
comes. We need those outings to actually be able to talk to someone. So I was reading about, the parent support groups. They're helping parents to connect. They don't have to feel isolated. They
Yes.
can, understand, because sometimes people think that they're the only ones that's going through things. But if you have that support group, you can hear other stories and testimonies of how other parents are coping and dealing with what is happening, like especially in these days, because there's so many families that's merging together. So you got the bonus moms, the bonus dads. And so how do we navigate through that without being stressed? Because we don't want to be stressed, of course, because again, it's going to end up with health issues. So, and
Yes.
then it affects your mental health. Right. And so, what are some of, let's say so let me ask this, go back, doing the parenting support groups, are is it just the parents, or are children there, or how does it work?
So right now we just have parents, only because we don't. They can get so complex, and they can get so emotional, that we don't want children to hear those things right
Mm-hmm.
now. Um, Hopefully, we'll be starting a teenage support group later on this year. probably virtually because teenagers don't like going anywhere. Um, so hopefully we'll be starting that in January as well, for teenagers that really need to talk about their experiences and talk about the things that they're dealing with. But right now, the support groups are just for the parents, and ideally, we'll have one for the younger children as well. But children are impressionable, so
Hmm.
it's just one of those things that you don't want it to affect them negatively. Um, you would like them to learn from it and see different perspectives. So it's baby steps right now,
Which is
but
good.
working
Yeah.
on it. Yes.
So if there's, because I can almost hear or feel people sometimes they don't want to admit that they need help. They don't want to admit that they
Yes.
need to be part of the support group. What would you say to that person as far as if they're willing to put in the work, what is the benefits for them?
So honestly, I would say give it a shot, first. You never know what you will find when you go there. Sometimes you'll find a different perspective. So in one case, I had a parent that she was the mom, and she didn't understand why, or no, she was a stepmom and she didn't understand why the mom hated her so much.
Mm,
And, I told her, from a different perspective, in another situation, I had a mom who was very hesitant. She was also kind of mean to the step parent, but it was because her own personal experience with her stepmom was not a great one.
mm,
So when you put that into perspective and you see this is what she experienced, and she didn't know any different. So she's automatically going to assume all stepmoms are bad. Um, so it's a matter of seeing things in a different way. And you really don't know what you're going to hear, what's going to help you, what you'll find unless you go. And I think that's important. It's just a step that you have to take. And in co-parenting, not everybody's going to get along all the time. You know, even with coworkers, you
right,
know,
right.
you do not get along all the time. But it's just learning to move around that.
Yeah.
We're not gonna, if you come to a support group, we're not gonna tell you, you guys got to get along for the benefits to the children. We'll be like, sometimes you don't get along, and that's okay,
Yes.
but you have to see it from a different perspective or a different point of view, or even just see it and say, okay, well, I'll ignore this part of it as long as my kid is doing okay.
Mm, mm,
And it's a big learning process, but
definitely.
you won't know unless you go.
That's true, and that's awesome. We definitely want to thank you for bringing this service to Newport News and to the Legacy of Hope Foundation. We're appreciative because a lot of the families that we do work with, and we're definitely going to let the parents know. We get a lot of parents that come in for clothing and food, and so I love adding a component where they can also get some assistance with their mental well-being through the parenting coping parenting workshop. I think it's awesome that they can find that assistance that they need, and they can definitely know that they're not alone, that people I mean all of us are dealing with something in life, and we have to get those coping skills and mechanism in place in order to make sure that we're living the best life that we can, and we don't want to be stressed out. So how can people get connected to you, and if they wanted to be a part of the parenting class, how would they go about doing that?
Yes. So on our website, it's for the love of children consulting.com. Um, we have an event section, and if you go to the events section of our website, it will have all of our events listed for the month. Usually we update it on the first of the month, just
Okay.
so it doesn't get too confusing. And then on our Facebook, we also have the information there.
Okay.
And then, of course, if you want to email us, you're always welcome to email us. Our email's on our website as well. And um, if you need anything, if you have questions, feel free to ask those as well. So it doesn't have to necessarily be about our events. It can be about anything, really. Um, so if you need that assistance, we're here to help.
And where did you come up with the name?
Well, it was it was a process. Uh, a lot of times people say, you got to co-parent for the children. And I think a lot of times we forget we love our children. So sometimes we express our love in different ways. So for the love of children is more, we're doing things for the love of our children. Um, and sometimes we might need a little bit of consulting if it's affecting our children negatively.
Mm,
And it's just to see how maybe we can do it differently, or what we can do to help our children at that time, because children, they change so quickly and so often, that sometimes what works one day doesn't work the next day. So just taking those steps.
and a reminder, I think that is so awesome, for the love of the children. It's just a great reminder is, okay, I can get through this for the love of the children. I can, calm my nerves for the love of the children, because definitely, we
Yes.
have to make some sacrifices, because these children, these babies have been brought into the world, and they didn't ask to come. And so how can we make the best of what is happening in their lives, because they have so many things to deal with. I think I was talking to somebody the other day. It's just a different world when I was growing up than it is now. There's different things that children have to deal with, and so we
Hmm.
want to make every possible service available for parents to be able to be the best parents they can be. And I believe that there's a lot of parents out there that really wants to be a good parent, but how do I do this, and how can I talk to someone who may have to overcome some of the things that they are dealing with? And so is there a time of like interaction during the time that the parents are together? Is there a time of interaction as far as like testimonials or things that some people have like overcome to help the other parents?
Yes. So actually, at our last support group lasted 2 hours, which was a record for our support groups. And we actually had a single parent and a co-parent there. One was
Okay.
just starting out, one had been there for 17 years. And, those are two different experiences. So the person that was just starting out, he had no idea where to start.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the things he was like, thinking, I would love to do this, but I'm not sure how to do it. And I'm not sure if I even should. So in one case was letting his daughter go out of state with his co-parent. So the other parent that was there, brought up a good point. Are the kids going to remember you saying no, or are they going to remember going on the trip? Um, you know, and even if you just say no, it can sometimes be brought up over and over and over again by, somebody who's upset.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
so of course, they may remember that, and they're also going to remember not being able to go, what they missed out on. But if they go, they won't remember the negativity. They'll just remember everything that they enjoyed about that time.
Yes.
So it was really eye opening for him, to just kind of hear it from somebody else, and not only somebody else, but somebody who's been there, that understands the feelings involved in it. So sometimes it's not just okay, when you're married, it's the husband or the wife is going to take them to the in-laws house, and that's fine. It's more of, I don't like this person, so I don't know if I want them to take the kids here. And it turns into, just seeing the other perspective just turns into something completely different. You can open up, in a way, like your mind,
Mm-hmm.
to see a different point of view, to just see something from a child's point of view also. Sometimes we just think of it from our point of view, what we don't want and what we want, and how we perceive it. But when we think of it from the children's side, what will they remember? What will
Mm-hmm.
they think about it? It makes it a little bit different. So when we do have these support groups, we have parents that they bring up any problems that they have, and then we just kind of discuss them and bring up our own stories and experiences, and in my case, education, for what steps you can take to help you and your children and your co-parent.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, again, this is Teresa Lassiter with TL Transformational Services, and we are with Miss Janelle Reynolds, who is manager, CEO, founder.
Yes,
For
founder.
the
Yes.
founder for the Love of the Children Consulting. We appreciate her so much. The parenting support groups are coming to Newport News in January, and let us know what days they're coming, the time, and also give us your contact information one more time.
Okay, so they will be the second Tuesday of every month at 7 p.m. And of course, you can look up the information on our website at fortheloveofchildrenconsulting.com. And then if you need to contact us, you can contact us via our website or via email, which is fortheloveofchildrenconsulting@gmail.com. It's a long name. Look.
Like the Legacy
um,
of Hope Foundation is like the whole name.
yes, and every time I type it out, look, I'm just like, why did I do this? No. um, but and then of course, if you have any questions about the support groups or anything, please let us know. And also, an extra fun fact: we got almost all of our sponsorships filled up for 2024, so we'll be able to provide refreshments for all the parents that attend, and that's
Awesome.
awesome. Especially
Yes,
if it's at 7 o'clock, you might come hungry. So,
exactly.
yeah.
Well, we thank you so much for joining us, and we will definitely have you back again before the actual support groups do start. We do want to just get as much information out as we can about this wonderful, wonderful service. So we thank you for joining us, and we already know you're already doing great, great things, and we thank you and appreciate you for bringing this to Newport News. And what a privilege and an honor it is to connect with you and collaborate with you. And so we're looking forward to great, great things. And she's already given us the website and the contact information, go ahead and check out their website, and also check out those support groups and contact her if you need anything. She said if you need anything, if I'm sure she cannot provide it, she can point you in the right direction of where to
Yes.
go. But thanks again. We look forward to
You're
speaking
welcome.
with you, and we definitely look forward to collaborating with you.
Yes, and thank you so much. I know you guys have done amazing work, and I love watching everything that you guys do. So it was great to be able to partner with you on this.
We appreciate you. Have a good night.
You as well. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you all for joining us on tonight. I am Teresa Lassiter with TL Transformational Services, reminding you that your life can change in one moment. So take one moment and change your life. If you know a parent who is in need of services, please, please, please direct them to For the Love of the Children Consulting, their website, their Facebook page. We want to make sure that we are providing resources to everything and all who need it. We want to be able to be the solution to the world's problems. And so I believe that through this program, through this parenting collaboration, how they come together, it will definitely, definitely help parents. And not only will it help parents, it'll help families. And in helping families, it'll help our community. So as we continue to move forward, know that all things are working well together because of what God is doing in our lives in this season. We wish you well. We will be back to you again, and we will definitely have more guests on Be Transformed. If you would like to be a guest, if you want to talk about your business or your services, please contact me, Teresa Lassiter 1@gmail.com, or you can find me on Facebook, Teresa Lassiter, as well. God bless you all. Have an awesome evening.